What's up, Dub Nation? Welcome back to the Dubsin4 Podcast. This is episode 22. Today is December 16th, 2018, and we're going to be going over the Warriors' week this past week, as well as giving a case for Steph Curry for MVP. So we're just going to jump right into this really fast. The Warriors played 3 times this week against the T-Wolves on Monday, Raptors on Wednesday, Kings on Friday. First 2 were at home, last one was on the road. Warriors went 2-1, took a win against the Timberwolves on Monday, 116-108. Not quite as close as the score would suggest. Steph Curry had 38 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Klay Thompson with 26, KD with 22. Nice game overall. Was impressed with the performance there. Like I said, not quite as close as the score might suggest. The Warriors pulled away quite a bit in the fourth quarter. It was closer than. Well, it was not quite as close as an 8-point win. So that was that. And then it didn't get much better from there, though, because the Warriors played the Raptors on Wednesday. Took a loss, 113-93, 20-point loss to the Raptors without Kawhi Leonard at home. So I don't know about that one, guys. Not really great. KD had a nice game with 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson only 14, Steph Curry only 10. Draymond Green didn't do anything. McKinney with only 7 off the bench, Jerebko with 3. Quinn Cook was a nice bright spot with 13, but other than that, not too much to say about that there. The Warriors definitely should be beating the Raptors, even though they are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. But if we do see them in the finals, we definitely need to be winning games like that. So, but yeah, we'll see how that unfolds down the stretch. The Warriors have now played the Raptors twice this year, so they may not see them at all again this season. If they do, it will be in the finals. So we'll have to see how they play when they get there, if that does happen. So, but yeah, there's that. Wasn't super happy with that loss there. Kind of took a fat L, got smacked up on Wednesday, but that's okay. Move forward. Let's go. So yeah, we got on Friday they had the Kings in Sacramento. Took a win 130-125. That game was a huge comeback win for the Warriors. They were down about 10 points with just a couple minutes left to play in regulation. They, went on a nice little run to get that win there. Klay Thompson hit a clutch 3 to lift them over the Kings. Kings have been very surprising so far this season. Preseason, I called them the worst team in the league. Dead wrong about that one. They're now 15-13, right in the thick of the playoff race in the Western Conference. So, did not expect that one out of Sacramento, but they've got players. They got guys who can play. They're tough. De'Aaron Fox has been really good this year. Nemanja Bjelica definitely can shoot the 3. He was a nice signing for them. They've got a lot of other nice young players. Kings have been okay, but Warriors were able to come back on them. They're still young, they lack experience, and so Warriors took advantage of that one a little bit and came back and beat the Kings 130-125. So, moving on to upcoming games this week, we got the Grizzlies, Jazz, Mavericks, and Clippers. All 3 out of the 4 of those are at home. They get the Jazz on the road on Wednesday. So, first of all, they got the Grizzlies tomorrow at home. That one. Grizzlies are much improved from last season. They should be good. They're finally healthy. They've got players. They're tough. They play good defense. So we'll have to see how that one shakes out. But if the Warriors are able to play their way, they should be fine against Memphis. As long as they can hit their threes, they'll be okay. Against the Jazz on Wednesday, that one's on the road. Maybe I can go out and catch that one. We'll have to see. If you don't know, I do live in Salt Lake City, but it depends on how my week goes. But I might be able to go out and catch that game from the back of the upper bowl. But we'll just have to see if that does indeed happen. Anyway, they are playing the Jazz on Wednesday. Jazz are tough. Warriors played them really, really close the first time they met this season. Second game of the year. Jerebko saved them at the buzzer with a tip-in. So, Jazz never go out easy, especially against the Warriors. They always bring their A game. So, that's exciting. Definitely exciting. I'm excited to see that game. Hopefully I can go there live, but we'll just have to see how that goes. We got the Mavericks on Saturday in Golden State, back home. So Luka Doncic and Dallas are again much improved from last season, much like the Grizzlies there. Definitely a most improved team candidate, and they are going to be tough. Luka Doncic is good. Excited to see him play, see how he fares against the Warriors. He's definitely not afraid of the spotlight. Was MVP of the EuroLeague last year, so he's good. He's not afraid of it. So we'll have to see how Luka plays. And then on Sunday they got the Clippers at home. Clippers come to town. That one should be interesting. We'll have to see. Last time the Warriors played the Clippers, some not great things happened, including a fight between KD and Draymond. That was a close game. Warriors took a loss there, but we will have to see how they rebound from that. Clippers are good. They're again much improved from last season, just like the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. The Warriors got all this showcase against these much improved teams. Starting with the Kings this last week, moving into the Grizzlies, Mavericks, Clippers. This should be exciting. So yeah, we get a little bit of a preview against the Western Conference's middle of the playoff race. All these teams here. So if the Warriors can go 4-0 this week, I'll be impressed with them. We'll just have to see. My expectation is they'll probably lose one of these games. They don't tend to play super well for stretches of time. At least not this season. They haven't. They've kind of been up and down. The Warriors right now are sitting at 20-10. They're the second seed in the Western Conference. So we will just have to see how they end up playing. But as of right now, I'm pretty encouraged with them. That loss to the Raptors wasn't great. But we'll have to see how they play this week. And then leading up to the Christmas Day game against the Lakers, that one should be very exciting. Obviously, them playing LeBron James and the Lakers for the first time this year. So that one is cool. And then, there's that. So that's the Warriors' upcoming week. And we're just going to move into the short little topic for today. I'm not going to talk for too long, but I do want to mention the case for Steph Curry as league MVP right now. So we'll just talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll get out of here. Okay. So right now, Curry is averaging 29.3 points per game. He's played 19 games so far. So 19 games, he's averaging 29.3 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 1.2 steals, and only 3 turnovers. So pretty good numbers for a point guard in just 33.6 minutes per game. So that's interesting. Those are good numbers. They're very, very similar to the numbers that he had his first MVP season, and also his second MVP season. He's pretty much on a very, very similar pace there. I want to get into his shooting numbers because these are huge. Right now he's shooting, let's see, percentage. He's shooting 50% from the floor, pretty much, 50.3%. So slightly more than half. From 2-point range, he's shooting 53%. From 3-point, he's shooting 48%. And from the free throw line, he is shooting over 90%. I'll have to find that in a second. But basically, and he's also now the career leader in free throw percentage, which is cool. He's now, 94.5% on the season for free throws. For his career, he's the all-time leader in free throw percentage. So, just passed up Steve Nash. That's cool to see. But yeah, there's that. So basically, those shooting numbers, are some things that we've never really seen before. He's shooting right now a 50-40-90 stat line. And not just that, it's a 53-48-94 stat line, which is well above, and a 50-40-90 is insane. If he can keep that pace up of shooting, above, like that 3-point percentage is definitely going to stay above 40 for the whole year. That free throw percentage is definitely going to stay above 90. So the one question there would be the 2-point percentage, but right now he's pretty well above that at 53%. He takes and makes a lot of layups. Not a ton of mid-range jumpers, but when he does take them, he usually, shoots pretty well from that range. And then his 3-point numbers are right now at 48. It's fluctuating, going up and down, but about a week ago, he was over 50% from 3. He's just making them at an insane rate, something we've never seen before. 48% right now. What he's had is the highest number of his career. Last year he shot about 42. The year before that 41, 45, 44, 42, 45, 45, 44, 43. So he's in the mid 40s. He's pretty much been there his entire career. This season he's in the high 40s, 48. So that's his highest number right now since his third year in the league. Where he shot 45.5%. He also shot about 45% in his first MVP season. So, I mean, if he keeps those shooting numbers up, and averaging almost 30 points to boot, I don't see why he can't be MVP. Now, the knocks against him right now are the fact that he has missed 11 games for injury. He's played 19. I believe he's missed 11. I could be wrong about that exact number, but he's missed about, he's missed a good chunk of this season due to an injury, and we'll have to see if he, what kind of injuries keep him out for the rest of the year. If he gets hurt again, if he's able to play the rest of the season, great. But something could happen. We will just have to see there. But obviously, if he doesn't play more than 60 games, he probably won't win the MVP. He'd have to play at least, probably 65 to 70 games in order to have a chance at winning. Because if you miss more than that, the voters are not gonna, they're gonna say, well, you missed like a fourth of the season, so they can't really, which is fair. But we'll just have to see what kind of injury marks happen. The other thing is they could say, well, he's on a stacked team, so it's not really, doesn't really mean as much because he has great teammates that are gonna make him be better. And to that I would say, honestly, it makes it even more impressive that he's able to average this much with also KD's averaging, a very large amount. What is it, like in the 25-26 range? I'll double check on that in a second. Klay Thompson's averaging a career high in points with 23. So it's like Steph has got all these amazing teammates that he has to share the ball with, and he's still able to score and make a huge impact, as well as averaging 6 assists. Right now, Kevin Durant is averaging 29 points per game. So, just a hair under Steph Curry. But holy cow, Steph shooting at this rate, averaging this amount of points, is something that is, we've just never seen this before. He's taking and making so many three-pointers. It's the way that he affects the game with his gravity, his pull, making teammates have to double, or his opponents have to double team him, leaving somebody else wide open. Steph's able to find the open man. He's an above average rebounder for a point guard. We all know, MVP race doesn't really factor in defense, but even if it did, I'd say Steph is an above average defender for his size and for his position. Based on, all the physical tools that he has, the fact that he's able to do so well on defense is pretty good. People are going to knock Steph and say he's not a great defender, but I could show you some, I could argue that, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, for right now, he's averaging 29 points per game, which I don't believe that leads the league right now, but it's close. So, I don't really know what else to say. Steph's shooting 9.8 field goal attempts, or he's making 9.8 field goal attempts, shooting about 19.5, which is also, I read a stat the other day, him, Klay, and KD are averaging like the same amount of shot attempts per game, something like that, which is cool. They're sharing the ball. They're good teammates, which is... It's always good to see. And if the Warriors are able to get that 1 seed in the Western Conference, even if they're 1 or 2, there's team success will factor into the MVP race. Right now, I don't think he's the front runner. I mean, voters are going to give it to a guy who is perceived to have a worse team. A guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? The Bucks are pretty good right now. Giannis is leading that team very well. He's averaging a ton of points, ton of rebounds as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Giannis win the MVP if his team continues to have success and they're at the top of the Eastern Conference. Obviously, LeBron James will always be a candidate. Steph Curry, KD, his teammate, will also be a candidate for MVP. You still have Anthony Davis, you have James Harden, you have Russell Westbrook, the usual suspects, the usual, candidates for MVP. But I definitely think that Steph Curry should be in that conversation leading up until the end of the year. Barring any injury, I feel like it's going to be close. I think he has a real shot at least being, one of those final three contenders. And I do think we could be watching Steph Curry's third MVP season. And how awesome would that be if he nabs that third MVP, and maybe a Finals MVP too. So we'll just have to see how that one goes. But I'm just going to leave this one off there. Thanks everybody for listening. Yeah, it's been 22 weeks. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, we're trying to find something new to talk about every week. Maybe we'll be expanding this a little bit in the near future, but we'll just have to see. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been the Dubsin4 Podcast, and I'll see you guys next week.